All right, so this is actually just one problem from the assignment that was titled Inverse of Linear and Rational Functions. Number 9, we had a question come up that made me think that I may have done the problem incorrectly. So we're going to do the problem again and see what we get. So the first step with any of these inverse function things is to rewrite, instead of f of x, write with a y. And we're going to need all the space we can get, so I'll put it over here. Y equals and then it's 7 plus 2x over 9 minus 5x. Okay, now the next step is to, the next step is to swap the x and the y. So everywhere I see a y, I'm going to put an x, and everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put a y. So x equals 7 plus y, plus 2y rather, over 9 minus 5y. Okay, so the next step is to recognize this as a proportion. Okay. And then we do the butterfly. We're going to multiply and then distribute the x to both these terms, and then set that equal here. So that butterfly is like this. Okay, so we have x, open parentheses, 9 minus 5y, equals, and then thankfully this is a 1, it's just 7 plus 2y on the right. Okay, now I want to get y all by itself. So how do I do that? Well, it's going to involve a few steps. The first step is going to be to distribute this x into this binomial here. And we get 9x minus 5yx, or remember, right, 5xy, equals 7 plus 2y. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 9x from both sides. Okay, and that will clear this 9x here. And so I'll have negative 5x y equals 7 plus 2y minus 9x. And now what I'm going to do is subtract 2y from both sides. And that will clear the y out over here. And so now I've got negative 2y minus 5x y equals, and then I'm going to lead with the negative 9x plus 7. So it's a negative sign, negative 9x plus 7. Okay, so now we can just pull the y out. What I mean by that is we can think of this as being encapsulated in parentheses, and I can pull out of both of these terms a y. Okay, and so that is like reverse distribution. You know, you're factoring out something. Okay, so now I factored out the y. The y is now outside the parentheses, and let's see what's inside the parentheses. Well, we canceled these y's when we did that, and we canceled these y's. So inside the parentheses I have negative 2 minus 5x. Okay, set equal to negative 9x plus 7. Okay, and so the final step here would be to divide both sides by this entire encapsulated parenthetical algebraic expression. And I'm gonna reorder it when I write it over here, but I'll divide by negative 2 minus 5x. Okay, so that way you can see that we successfully clear it out over here. But over on the right side, just to make things look a little neater, I'm going to put the negative 5x up front and then minus 2 so that it's a little bit neater. Negative 5x minus 2. Okay, so final answer, y by itself. So this is y, or not final answer, y inverse at this point, we can say, is equal to, and then put negative 9x plus 7 over negative 5x minus 2. Okay, and then putting that into function notation, we would say the inverse function of x is equal to, and then here we'll put negative 9x plus 7 over negative 5x minus 2. Okay, and that's what I would put in the box. All right, now give me just a second to compare that with the other version of the problem. Now I got the same answer here. You see, negative 9x plus 7 over negative 5x minus 2. I did the problem different way the first time, but ended up with the same answer. So, well, at least the least I can confirm is that having done it 2 different ways on 2 different days, I got the same answer. And that answer might be wrong, but nevertheless, there it is. Let's see if we can check it and get some closure. Okay, I think I see the problem. So there, it seems that what may be the problem if you're trying to enter this into Delta Math is that they've divided out a negative 1 over negative 1. So let's do that and show you an alternative answer which may fit what Delta Math is looking for. It's identical, mathematically identical to what we just wrote here, but if I take negative 9x plus 7 over negative 5x minus 2, okay, right there. And it really doesn't matter, multiply or divide. As long as it's the same thing over itself, it has no effect. So I'm allowed to do this. If I want to just multiply these two expressions here by the fraction negative 1 over negative 1, okay, which of course reduces to 1, then I'm just going to change the signs inside the parentheses here, and that would give me 9x minus 7 over 5x plus 2. Okay, so again, that is identical to this, but again, that may be the reason some people are getting essentially a false negative, in the sense that they're getting told that the answer is wrong, just because they're leaving it with these negative numbers. So if that's the way they want to see it, then we could write f inverse x equals 9x minus 7 over 5x plus 2. Okay, so that again is that's perfectly fine. I'm surprised that the math engine on Delta didn't recognize the two things as being identical, but nevertheless, those are two ways of writing the same thing, but one has no leading negatives, which may be what they wanted. So that may be what you're looking for, and that may be why you were getting the wrong answer. the key thing is to recognize that multiplying by anything over itself doesn't change anything, okay? It might change the way it looks, and that might be useful or helpful, but this doesn't affect the mathematical equivalence of this box to this box. They're equivalent. All right, well, that'll conclude that issue with number 9. And I hope that helped solve that problem.